This morning I was talking about meditation. I didn't talk about posture. Posture is quite important. A lot of meditation teachers, they don't stress on posture. And so you find a lot of people who practice meditation, even after many years, you find them sitting like this. Especially those people who don't practice samatha meditation. So now I'd like to talk a bit about posture. Normally we sit like this. Am I sitting straight? Only here people can see. For most people, you think I'm sitting straight because it appears straight. But here it's slightly bent. So if you sit long like this, you get a pain here. So you have to sit very straight. You see how I sit straight. I move forward. My spine become erect. But this is not very relaxed. This is not very relaxed. But it's okay. You have to train yourself like that. But it's not quite relaxed, especially if you're sitting low. But if you sit high, then it's easier. When you sit high, and your back is straight, and you sit like a bell, a bell that's got a big base. So you lean forward slightly, and your back is straight. Your chest comes out. A lot of people, they are too relaxed. It's too relaxed to go like this. And slowly become like that. So when you sit like this, the chi cannot travel. The xiong tio. So you must sit straight like that. And for a beginner, your hands should rest on the knee, the other one as center as you can. Why like this? Because you can push yourself straight and guide yourself to be straight. If you are sitting like this, sometimes you go forward, you don't know. You go backward, also you don't know. If you sit like this, also sometimes your position move, also you're not quite aware. But like this, if you keep your body erect, then if your body move, you can be aware. So one hand in the center, one hand at the knee. So what else I want to say? The leg, you can either put up in lotus or you can put flat on the ground, both. Then your head should be looking, don't look up. When you look up, then also you become tired. You want to relax. Only when we are tired, when we are very tired, it is natural for the head to go down. Yes, whenever you are very tired, you are listening to a Dhamma talk, when you are very tired, you go. Yes, why? Because there's a chakra point here. There's a chakra point. So when you are very tired, it's natural to do this. When you do this, then you get rest. So if you put your head too high, you don't get rest. So in meditation, you must keep your spine straight. But if you are very tired, it's alright to incline your head. But don't incline your spine. Just incline your head. When you get enough rest, then you can go up again. And then if you look a bit down, 6 feet or 10 feet away, then this one is slightly more relaxing. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about posture. Anything you want to ask? You can ask anything, whether about meditation, about Dhamma, about anything. Last night, somebody asked about last thought moment, those kind of things also you can ask.
At least in the human Kaya, the things that we are aware of, really inside and outside.
Outside is, inside is our own feeling lah. Outside is other people's feeling lah, I guess. Right. Internal, inside the body, inside is your own body lah. Outside is other people's body.
How do we contact others?
If you know lah, if you know how other people feel, be aware. Yeah. Oh. The point about this, about contemplating the body, feeling and all that, is to understand the nature of it. The nature, that it is impermanent, that it depends on conditions. Not to be curious what people are feeling, be curious what people are thinking.
Let's talk a little bit on the right view for parents for young children.
For children, you don't expect them to become Arya, is it? So you must teach them worldly right view. Worldly right view, that means understanding Dhamma Vipaka. Tell them it's important to keep the precepts. Initially, the Buddha did not talk about 5 precepts. Initially, the Buddha talked about 7 precepts. These 7 precepts are also called the Aryan Precepts. The Noble Eightfold Path, the Sila component precept consists of right speech, right action and right livelihood. Right speech consists of 4 precepts, not to lie, not to carry tales to cause people to quarrel and fight, not to engage in coarse or vulgar speech, and then the 4th, not to engage in idle gossip. This is the 4 precepts in right speech. And in right action, there are 3 precepts, not to kill, not to take what is not given, and not to commit adultery. And then in right livelihood, there are no precepts by itself. In right livelihood means earning your livelihood in a way that does not harm others. And that is covered by right action and right speech. If you have right action and you have right speech, then you don't harm others. So these 3 components of Sila in the Noble Eightfold Path, right speech, right action and right livelihood, consist of 7 precepts. So initially the Buddha talked about 7 precepts to lay people. Then in the Vinaya books, we find that one day a monk, the Buddha asked him to go to an external sect, hermitage, and stay there. And when he stayed there, as expected, the Naga came to annoy him. The Naga spirit. The Buddha asked this monk to go because this monk has got psychic power. So this Naga wanted to chase away this monk. He emitted smoke. So the monk sat in meditation, emitted smoke also. Then he got angry. Then he emitted heat, fire. So this monk also emitted fire. So the whole night they had a fight. So those monks with psychic power, they could see. They could see there's a big fight. Then next morning, the news went around. There was this big fight there. And then next morning, the lay people thought this poor monk must be all burned up. And then they found he came out of the hermitage. And then when they asked him, he opened his arms bowl. He showed them the Naga inside. Inside the arms bowl. So the Naga was subdued by him. So after that, he became famous. So when he went for Pinapata, the lay people thought, we have an Arahant here, we must offer him something special. So asked him what special thing they can offer him. By being a good cultivated monk, he was not interested. But we have this group of, in the Vinaya books, it's called the gang of six, a group of six, 6 white tan, 6 bad eggs, always group together one, always cause trouble one. So these six monks, when they learned that this monk became famous, they quickly follow him. Follow him. So when the lay people ask what special thing we can give, this monk didn't want anything. The 6 monks got toddy, got bichu. So the lay people offered. That time the Buddha had not made a precept against liquor. So when they went to one house, they offered this liquor. The 6 monks drank. This monk also, being innocent, he also drank. Then we go to another house, again the 6 monks asked for all these things. And again they drank. Then one house after another. And these 6 monks, they are used to drinking liquor. They were okay. But this monk not used to drinking liquor. He collapsed. Collapsed at the city gates. So they had to carry him back to the monastery. So when they carried him back to the monastery, and they informed the Buddha. They informed the Buddha, and so the Buddha went to see this monk. So the monk was lying down there, and the Buddha was sitting like that, talking to the other monks. Then the Buddha said, "Look at this monk. Can he challenge the Naga now?" They said no. Then the Buddha said, last time when he saw the Tathagata sitting here, his head will be suppose now he is sleeping in the kuti. He knows the Buddha's kuti is in such a direction. He will sleep with his head in the direction of the Buddha. And now you look at him, his feet is pointed towards the Tathagata. So the Buddha make this point to make the monks realize that when you are drunk, what you should not do, you do. Also what you should not say, you say. So no more control of himself. So from there on, the Buddha made the precept against liquor. So you notice in the Noble Eightfold Path, there is no precept against liquor. So if you churi a bit of liquor, you still can become an Aryan. Not too much. If you take a bit more, then you become like this monk. And some people, especially like Westerners, in the country is cold. Winter time, they cannot tahan. At night, they must take a bit of liquor. So, 7 precepts. So you want to teach children. Also, right view is, the Buddha says, right view means understanding karma vipaka. It also means understanding that there are different realms of existence. That when a person dies, he can be reborn in 5 destinations. So if you explain this to the children, then they understand, then they won't be so scared. What you don't understand, you're scared. Like when we are young, we don't know anything about ghosts. People tell us there are ghosts, then we get scared. But when you understand that ghost is a woeful destination of rebirth, when a person is reborn in the ghost realm, that ghost is suffering much more than us. So we pity them. And sometimes if they come to us, they make us see them. They want us to help them. Usually they don't want to cause us problem. But if they come for help and you don't help them, then they get annoyed. Then they might kacau you. Just like last time when I stayed in Simpang Polai, 1986, when I came back from Thailand, I went to stay in a cave in Simpang Polai. So one farmer used to come and bring me water. Then he asked me, "You stay in this dark cave, you're not scared?" I asked him, "Scared of what?" He said, "Scared of ghosts." And I thought he must have some experience with ghosts. So I asked him to tell me what experience. So he told me that one of the neighbors, the son, the family got only one son, 16-year-old son. And this son used to like to go and fish in the mining pond. Around Ipoh area, Kinta Valley, a lot of ex-mining pond. And they are very deep. So this boy used to go and fish and swim in the pond, and he drowned one day. After he drowned, after a few days, the ghost would come back. 11:30 at night, the ghost will walk on the streets and cry very pitifully. So normally when people hear the sound of ghosts, they get very scared. They close their door, close their window. Don't want to see, don't want to hear. So this ghost will walk to the front of his house. At the gate there, he'll stand there and cry. Then the parents, they recognize the sound of the son turn into ghost now. They're so scared, they dare not go out. So this happened a few nights. Then their minds were very disturbed. And after that, they move away. So this ghost came back. He go to other houses, nobody know how to help him. So he got annoyed. He went into some houses and strangled people when they were sleeping. They asked you to help, you don't want to help, so he got strangled. So this man who told me, he originally never believed in ghosts one, but when he got strangled, he got to believe. So they couldn't stand it. They go and call the Mausan people, and they caught the ghost. Put into an urn, seal the urn with a fu, and threw it in the sea. So you see, this ghost is coming for help. Instead of helping him, they go and annoy Jekaku.
The ghost supposed to be different form, but they can still
different realm, but because they are psychic. So if they don't want you to see, you cannot see him. They want you to see, then they appear, you can see. Yeah.
So, but then you say how the ghost will die. So how psychics are
the most you can help is provide them with food and clothing. You cannot you cannot get them out of the ghost realm. Nobody can get them out of the ghost realm. Even the Buddha also cannot. They have to serve their time.
So when you say give them food, it means put on the street, give them.
That is one way. Another way is like you inform them beforehand they're going to do dana. You're going to represent them to do dana and then give them the merit. So, according to the Buddha, in one sutta, we have many relatives in the ghost realm. We have forgotten about them, but they have not forgotten about us. So whenever we do charity, then we think of them and transfer the merit to them. But it's the best is a few nights beforehand, you inform them. Inform them they are going to do this charity on their behalf.
So there is clothing ones.
They offer clothing. For monks, you offer robe. No, you can offer to old folks' home. You go to old folks' home also, you offer food. But you burn clothing, actually they can get. But you burn paper clothing, they get paper clothing. Then they say you cheat them. You want to give them, you burn real clothes and burn for them. But don't burn Mercedes-Benz. They don't need Mercedes-Benz or computer or credit card.
Even though it was the real Mercedes-Benz, no petrol.
Yeah. They don't need Mercedes-Benz because they can fly faster than your Mercedes-Benz. Any other thing?
So how do those it's like those you give them food, you give them clothing, how do they go to the next step?
They have to serve their time.
They have to keep on serving.
Yeah. Just like now you have to serve your time as a human being.
We heard a lot of stories saying that once they rejoice in whatever merits they have done, so they get transformed.
You just think if you can help them to become Deva, who is the most compassionate in this world? The Buddha the Arahants, they have greater psychic power than you. Why can't they transform all the ghosts and become Deva? Huh? If you can help all the beings in hell come out just by getting some monk to come and chant, then the Buddha is so compassionate, has the six abhinyas, higher knowledges, all the psychic power you can get. Why don't the Buddha just use his psychic power and make them all come out of hell?
So that they rejoice and
okay, now I do something for you, and you rejoice lah. Can you go to heaven? Just rejoice, go to heaven. No, a lot of things people say, no logic one. So you must analyze what people say. Just like a lot of religions say, you come and follow our religion, we guarantee you a place in heaven. Sounds so good and something that people like to hear. But when you really analyze it, there's no basis for it. Because this world is all conjured by consciousness. This world is conjured by consciousness. Even the physical world, as I explained last night, is also a mental state. We see this physical world, for example, this bottle of water. This bottle of water, how do you know there's a bottle of water here? Firstly, because you see. And then if I give it to you, then you hold it, then you say, it feels like a bottle of water. Yeah. So, just because you see it, it is here. But if I'm a magician, I make it disappear, then you don't see it. So, your seeing is just your perception. And this perception can change. Your perception can change. So, like I mentioned last night, this wall is hard to you because when you try to walk across the wall, you knock your head. But for an Arahant, the Arahant can walk across the wall. Why? To the Arahant, the wall is not hard. To the Arahant, even this earth also is not hard. He can dive into this earth and come out just like water. So, this physical world, like the hard brick wall and all that, is your perception only. And your perception is created by your karma, by your mind. So, for example, if your mind is evil, your heart is no good, when you die, you see yourself in hell. Who created the hell? You created, your mind created. So, another person, his heart is good, when he passes away, his mind creates heaven for him. Why your mind create hell for you? Why this other person, he sees heaven, you see hell? Because of your mind. So, you see, you know probably from Time magazine or from the internet, there are some people their mind is very strong. You put some fork and spoon in the next room, they can use their mind to bend the fork and spoon. Yeah. How they do it? Mind. What Jesus Christ calls faith. If you believe, enough, then it's real for you. So, the Sutta says, our relatives in the ghost realm, they are waiting for our help. So when you inform them that you're going to help them, and you do the dana, and then you tell them, you transfer the merit to them, then they believe that you are giving them this food, then they receive it. Just like it seems in this hypnotism, they hypnotize somebody, and that person is in a deep sleep state. And then you take a pencil and you say you have a red hot iron in your hand, you're going to burn him. Then you take the pencil and you touch him, his hand gets burned. Why? Because in that deep sleep state, he believes that it is an iron, hot iron, you are burning it. So his hand gets burned. That's how, because you believe. They have also experimented where this person is in a deep sleep state, and that person normally wears spectacles like you. Okay? Then he hypnotizes a person, and in the middle of the hypnotism, that person is asked to wake up. And then that person is asked to remove the specs. Then he's brought something to read. Normally, without the specs, he cannot read. When you ask him to read, without the specs, in the hypnotized state, he can read. He can read very clearly. Then after that, he goes to sleep again. Then after that, when that person is woken up, no more hypnotized, you take the same thing, ask him to read. Without the specs, he cannot read. Why? If you believe you can read, you can read. You believe. That's why a lot of our sickness is mind-made. We are not happy. Our heart is not happy. A lot of people, the mind is not happy. Then they believe they are sick. And then all the sickness come.
So Bhante, that means we believe that we will benefit, that we will benefit.
Not you believe, they believe.
They believe.
But then how do you inform them? You say inform them that you are going to do Dhamma.
You light the incense at night, and then you pray, and you mentally inform them they are going to do dana on their behalf. You can inform them without the incense, but I think with the incense better chance, because with the incense, these spirits, they are attracted by incense. So if their particular relative is not around, then other spirits come because of the incense. And then they hear you inviting all your relatives, then they go and inform his friend, hey, your relative. So they pass the word.
Bhante, just now you said that they receive say for example, the clothes because they believe that you are giving them leave. But how do you inform them? You inform them that you are leaving to the monk or?
No, you inform them that you're going to do this charity. Okay? So either you give it to them directly, what we Hokkien say, by the roadside. You give it to them at the roadside. Then they come and then they see it, and then it goes into their world. Then if you are doing the dana to the monk, then you inform them on such and such a day you're going to do dana. Then they'll be waiting, you see. So when you do dana that time, mentally, you say, may all my departed relatives rejoice or receive this merit. Then after the dana, if you go back home, if you like, again you can inform them.
I think everything might make sense.
Yeah. Life is like a dream. When we are in the dream, verse is so real. Only thing when you are about to die, you can see many people, 1 or 2 days before they die, then another world will surface. And this other world surfaces, then they see this other world. It can be either, they are either happy to see it or they can be frightened. Usually they are frightened. No. Too late already. It takes many years to change. You have to change your character. Not change outside, change inside.
So it's not last stop.
So
it's not last stop.
No. I told you last thought, you cannot control, because when the doctor says that this person has passed away, he will still be alive for another 1, 2 or 3 hours. And during these few hours, when that person is alive, the thoughts are going and going and going, and you have no control. It depends on your karma. Change of what?
Climate change. How do you see climate change globally? All these phenomenons.
This climate change is also karma. Huh?
Like there are two voices. One saying that it's human activities, but another group saying that just part of the change. what Bhante said is karma. So how actually we can...
But one thing you must see that the Buddha says the world is dukkha, and even in the Christian Bible it says the world is evil. So the world is not a happy place because you cannot be happy all the time. So like Japanese tsunami, it's not just happened 2 months ago. Years ago it already happened many times. So it's something that occurs every now and then. Earthquakes, floods, all this always has been occurring over the ages. So it's part of natural phenomena. But when human beings are careless, like now releasing a lot of pollution into the air, then it happens more often. Because like now America is paying for all the tornado and all these things they are suffering. But don't worry, our world will come to an end before this earth comes to an end. Yes or not? Human life is only about 75 years old. By the time you die, the earth will still be here. So don't worry about the earth, worry about yourself. My Deva said the aircon too noisy. Yeah.
Read this story about this monk who goes chanting for people before they pass away, and he actually recounted his experience that for various people, like as he chant, then the person before he died actually told him what he saw, and then later on he can turn back again, then he'll try to help again, then the sign and all this will change again, keep changing.
Yeah, that is possible. But ultimately, when he actually dies, that time, I don't think anybody can help. Because as I told you, the doctor says this person is clinically dead. But he'll still be alive for a few hours. At that time, the dreams that person is having, they have no control.
But if you continue to chant,
now he's no more aware of you already.
He's no more aware. It's not
just like
the consciousness is somewhere.
No. It's like in a coma state, deep sleep state. That's why you see, when a person is in that state, they start to cut him up and take the organs already. If he's aware, he'll be screaming in pain. No? Yes or not? Is he screaming in pain?